I heard you like markers.
Well, we got the markers.
Hi art friends!
Hi, friends!
Are you ready for 10 Copic marker alternatives?
You better like markers, because we've got a lot today.
No, we get a ton of people on our channel wanting to know about alcohol markers. It's probably one of the most common things that we get asked about. So we thought, you know what, we'll compile a huge list of a bunch of markers that we've tried, some more than others.
Yeah, that's true.
We'll give you all the information that we possibly can and know, and hopefully it can help you with your marker quests. Okay, so up first, I wanted to show you guys Winsor & Newton brush markers.
Ooh.
None of these are sponsored, by the way. This is all just like our own collection that we're sharing with you. These are one of the closer ones to like Copics. I've seen quite a few people say that these are like the closest thing that you can find to a Copic, and that's why I wanted to share it with you first.
Okay.
I've noticed that in America they seem to be more pricey than what they are in England, which might make sense because Winsor & Newton, I'm pretty sure it's like an English brand.
Yeah, that's true, yeah.
But they are really, really nice markers if you can get hold of them. As you can see, they've got like a brush nib.
They got a brush on one end. There it is.
And then on the other side, they've got like that standard chisel.
The chisel. Look at the pigment on that as well. It's so bright.
You'll see this fella on pretty much every single marker in the entire world. It seems to be like a marker staple. I've also got some colour swatches to show you of these.
Swatches.
And as you can see, the colour representation of like what's on the label versus what you're getting is very, very close.
Oh yeah, and the magenta is actually really close.
I've heard sometimes they're pastel colours. The colour on the marker can be a bit more pastel than what the colour comes out for. So if you're getting these for pastels, just be careful.
Representation isn't as good with the pastel
Yeah,
ones.
but
Okay.
like compared to how wrong other markers get it, these are pretty good.
Ah.
Brush markers also come in a total of about 72 markers. So it's not a massive colour range, but I think it's pretty decent.
72 chances are you're going to have a colour that you might be able to get away with.
It's just that Copics, they come... I don't actually own like many myself, but they come in about like 300-ish like colours.
There's a lot of
There
different
are
tones.
tons. So if you were someone who wants to do like very, 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 very intricate blending, maybe you'd be better off looking for a marker set with a wider range of colours. The next one I wanted to sort of roll into, because it does kind of fall under it, is Pro markers,
Oh, okay.
which are also by Winsor &
So these are Winsor & Newton again. This is an official Pro marker.
Yeah.
There we go.
This is an official Winsor & Newton Pro marker, but it's still going to be the same colour as like a Letraset one.
Yeah,
if you have one of
if you
those.
do come across any of Letraset ones, you can still get these because they are the same as the Winsor & Newton. They're just rebranded.
So the reason I wanted to bring these ones up is because the Pro markers come in about 148 colours. So
Oh, better.
yeah, it's almost double the colour collection of the brush markers. So it depends on how much you want that brush tip.
Have you got more swatches
Yeah,
down
here's
here?
some swatches of like the Pro markers.
Again, colours, very nice.
I potentially have, yep, some more. Those are the Letraset ones, but it's the same as the
Same
Winsor
again.
Newton ones.
But yeah, look at the really nice gradient through the different tones as well. Those are really good.
And here's some of the skin tones. Really nice skin tone colours.
Ooh. There's a nice variation in all the different colours too.
Yeah, so I don't personally have any complaints when it comes to like Winsor & Newton markers. I think they're one of the best alternatives on the market.
And markers in general, as you'll see, we have 10 different brands.
Yeah, but some I do like more than others, and I just wanted to tell you guys, I'm going to start off with one that I don't think you can go too wrong with. I've heard some people complain that they have sticker labels, and it's not, you know, Copics that come with like a plastic colour.
They actually have a coloured plastic, yeah.
And it can be a pain in the bum if these ones fall off the top. So packaging wise, could be a bit better, but they're good.
Unless you're not like shoving them in your mouth and licking them, you should be okay.
I've only ever had one that's come off, and it came off in the post. It never came
Oh,
off when I
okay.
was using it. I just remembered we have some other Winsor & Newton markers that they're kind of advertised as alcohol markers, but they're not alcohol markers. They're essentially like highlighters and metallic markers, so I thought I'd
Hey,
show
let's chuck
those.
them in.
So yeah, this is
Ooh.
the metallic set, and these are the neons.
The neons are true to their name. Look how bright those are.
And I think the metallic ones probably will work better on like a black paper, but I haven't tested that yet, so Don't trust me on my word there. I've also got a couple of artworks in this folder somewhere that I've done with the Winsor & Newton brush markers. So
Examples!
yeah, if you'd like to see some examples of what they're capable of. So yeah, here's some.
Oh.
The gold was probably done with like a Posca pen or something, so just ignore that.
Oh, the skin tone's really nice, yeah.
That one I did a
Donuts.
bit more like blending on than usual.
Ooh.
That was one of yours I coloured in.
Yeah.
But yeah, as you can see, there's some really nice colours in there.
And they've taken to that paper really nice too.
Yeah, this is Bristleboard. Bristleboard loves markers. Doesn't matter what marker it is, just give it some.
It just gobbles them up.
Okay, so up next.
Up next, guys, we have now, granted, we don't know a lot about these, but these are called style file markers. And I think they're German, but
Are they German?
I believe so. These also come in a brush tip, chisel tip, fine tip, chisel tip sort of combination thing. The lighter coloured ones are the brush and chisel end, I believe.
Yeah, there's the
a
chisel.
there, and a brush here. One thing that we've noticed with this brush tip though, guys, is that it's a little bit too flexible. It's like if you put in the slightest bit of pressure when you're using it, it'll bend all over the place.
Yeah, it does. It's a very bendy brush.
It's very weak.
Now, also in the darker colours, the darker colour barrel, you've got your normal chisel tip there again. But on this end, you have the finer one. Bullet tip, very, very firm this is, guys. If you're curious of price, you can get a set of 12 for £25 or I think $30-ish. Or you can get a 12 brush set, like this, for £30, which is about $37. These
Yeah,
also have
about
refills
that.
too, which is pretty good.
And here's a little look of some.
We do have some
colour
bad
swatches.
news about the swatches though. Get in, look at this.
Okay, yeah, we're having a look.
That top colour, this blue, is meant to be this blue.
Adam's horrified by that. He doesn't think it's close enough.
I don't think that's very close.
I think there's other ones that are
Some
less
do
familiar.
have better colour representations than others.
Yeah, like these two greys are these top two, and as you can see, they're close to the colours, but the tones are always seem to be
Just
the tones
slight-
always seem to be off.
Only slightly off, but they do win points by having a plastic barrel, a plastic colour top, and the name too.
Yeah, the colour names are printed on the top.
That's
as
a
well.
winner for me.
I know Adam always gets sick when we talk about this. But Adam's colourblind, so when using markers, it helps him if he's got an indication of like what
Yeah,
colour the marker
The
is.
names are always such a big help for someone like me, so although the tone isn't great, it is good that the colours are on the ends. That's a big help for me.
Yeah, it does help if the tone's also accurate.
It would be great if the colour was the same.
Before you start using them, look at the colours, then put on some sunglasses, and you're like, oh, that's what it'll look like. The next markers that I want to talk about that I actually really like, and I know you really like as well, are Tiger markers. Now, this is a bit of a minus for people across the pond. Tiger is a European shop, so these markers, we think at the time of recording this video, you're only going to get Tiger markers in Europe, unless you can find them online, maybe.
And they're only available in Tiger stores.
Exactly.
We can't even find them online
Online
anywhere.
anywhere yet, which is a bit of a bummer, but we do like them. Now, Tiger markers, first of all, they're square shaped, and I love how they feel in your hand. They feel really good.
They remind me of Lego.
Yeah, kind of. I guess you could kind of stack them.
Because of the side, they look like those clicky bits on top of Lego blocks.
Brownie points for Lego. Now, you get your bullet tip, and you get your chisel tip, which I think is on every marker we have. One thing to note with Tiger markers is they come in they come in sets of 3. Total amount of colours I think is around 20, 21. Don't quote me on that, guys. They tend to come in sets of 3s, like this, and they tend to come in tone sets.
Yeah, so you buy them
like
just in
this.
colour sets. Which with markers, I don't normally like that because it means you have to buy so many to get a full set of colours.
But a really good point with Tiger markers is that they're stupidly cheap.
Yeah, they're really, really
Like,
cheap.
I think that a pack of this is like £2.
Yeah.
Around £2.
So-
It's ridiculously cheap, guys.
A full set of them you could probably pick up for something like £10 or something.
Yeah, if you were lucky, yeah. And they always have sales on and stuff. It's crazy how cheap all the stuff they sell is. One downside is, though, as you might have seen, they don't have the colours on them.
So they just have like little numbers on top. There isn't colour names.
But on these, right, this is an unopened pack. It doesn't say anywhere what the numbers actually relate to. So if you know,
Yeah, we don't
let me know.
They just have random numbers on the
Yeah.
tops.
So if you know what those numbers mean, if you've got some tiger markers, let me know, because that'd be awesome. The only other downside I can think of, unfortunately, with these markers, similar to the style file, they're ever so slightly darker than what they are supposed to be. This red, as you can see, is darker than this one.
And this lilac here is this colour here, which looks more of like a pink in real life and on camera as well, to be honest. But as you can see, it's not quite the colour that it says it is on the lid. But for the price...
For the price, guys, these are an amazing marker just to start with. If you've never had markers before and you want to get into it, these are perfect for the price. You can't really go wrong.
Yeah, if you want to have a little practice, maybe you've never used one before and you want to practice with like getting smooth colours and not streaking.
Exactly, yeah, yeah.
I'm not sure how much blending you could necessarily do with them, but you could probably do a little bit of
You can
blending
do a
with
little,
them.
but if you just want to dip your toe in the world of markers, then these are perfect. I would recommend these for any beginner. They're great.
Up next, we have potentially the biggest markers in the entire world, and that's chameleon markers.
They're enormous!
You guys ask us about these all the time, and we did actually do a video on them like a really long time ago. I'll put like a little card up to it, as long as I remember to put it there.
Is it there? Let me know.
So we've only got about 3 colours of these. I can't remember how many there are like in total, but in the UK, these markers are so expensive.
They're ridiculously expensive, guys.
This is one of those things where for you guys in the US, I think you can pick up these considerably cheaper than what we can find
Yeah.
them in the UK. Because for like a set with like one of each colour or something in it, it's not even a pretty big set. However, you get like one red, one yellow, one orange, whatever.
It's like primary colours and
Yeah,
stuff.
it's about 80 or £100 for us, which is like $120 or something.
It's big money.
Yeah, it's really, really big money. So, you might be asking, why are they so big? What's like the quirk to these markers? I wonder if I can remember how to do it, because basically there's what they call the mixing chamber.
Which is that thick?
Is this thing in the top. 2 different sides of the markers. There's one a brush and one a chisel nib. It's been a while since we've
I think
actually
one
used
has
it.
the one that you've got there is a very fine brush.
As you can see, there's a learning curve to these markers.
This is one thing that I personally was put off by these. You have to learn how to use them. If you want to get some
And they're
markers,
huge.
if you want to get markers that you can just take out and use straight away, this isn't really the marker for you. There is a learning curve with it.
They're not really markers that you can travel with because they're so big. They're hard to fit in drawers, or like imagine putting this in like a pencil pot or something. They're massive.
I'm here to draw.
This is kind of like a standard marker size. Look at that. It's like there's an extra half marker on top of that.
One plus point is that they're great for scratching your butt,
So as you can see, it's cleared it off.
which is normal, guys.
And then as you keep drawing,
It blends
it
in.
gradually gets darker. I've heard that recently they've started selling something called colour tops so that you can mix like different colours on top of each other and
that's
touch
pretty-
the nibs.
No, that sounds interesting.
But if you're someone who colours like really, really big areas, it's pretty much impossible to colour
Yeah.
a huge area. with
In the
one of
video
these.
that we did with them,
Yeah, you'll see how that goes.
we ran
down.
into that same problem.
If you're someone who does like craft stamping and you're looking to colour in really tiny little images, this is probably a cool little way
Perfect.
to do those images. But if you're someone who's working on like an A1 canvas, good luck.
You might
Not the
also
marker for you.
you may also notice that the barrels are pretty small. I don't think you can refill these either.
No, they do. They have refills.
They
actually.
do. Oh,
Yeah.
thank God.
I'm not sure about like the colourless blender one. I presume they probably have some kind of refill if they do for the markers.
Forgot to mention, guys, just with the caps, they do come with the names on. And colour representation to these caps is actually pretty good. Not the best, but it's pretty close.
Yeah, here's like a little peek at the red, yellow and bisque.
Besk is my favourite named marker ever.
There's the markers for comparison.
See? Cool.
I was about to ask you which markers these are, but that bag doesn't leave much mystery, does it?
Yeah, the next markers, we recently did a video on these and we were really impressed with these. These are the Ohuhu markers. As you can see, they do have the names on, which is very good. The tips are, as you might have noticed by the handy lettering, fine end on one, and on the other end you've got, it calls it a broad, but it is just a chisel tip, guys.
I don't think there's any kind of like refill system in place for these. A lot of markers don't tend to have refills.
That's it. I don't think they do, just because of how cheap they are. I mean, we picked up a pack of 40 for about £23. In America, I think they're only like $20. It is ridiculous how cheap these are.
Yeah, they do go for super cheap.
They do come with this cute little bag with
Yeah, the
them.
bag came with it.
One thing to note though, guys, is that they are random. It was really strange because we were like, oh, we got a really good set, but you guys let us know and we researched it. The marker colours that you get are completely random. There is no promise of what colours you get. You might get duplicates, but for the price, I think it's probably worth the risk.
So it sounds like we were pretty lucky because we've got a nice mix of like greys and greens and yellows and pinks and I was going to say greens again.
Green and green and green.
I think we did get quite a few greens in ours.
Looking at it, we did get a lot of green.
That's probably why I kept going to say it so many times.
But yeah, for the price, guys, again, it would be a great introductory marker to use.
In all honesty, I've been using these quite a bit recently. I think the colour representation of them's great.
It's amazing. And we did do a video on it as well, so if you want to check that out, guys, we have got a video on them too.
So here's a quick look at the swatches I've got for these, and as you can see,
Ooh.
it's a really great colour representation.
Let me spin that around. But yeah, guys, I mean, like the fluorescent yellow.
This one's like essentially a highlighter. I think we got 3 from like a highlighter set.
Representation. It's practically identical. It's amazing.
And look at how pale those pastels are.
But yeah, in terms of like price against like representation and things, these are probably the best ones that we've got.
I used Ohuhu markers for this piece, and I used them on that as well.
A little self-portrait. If you've never used markers before, if you just want to try it, just to say, hey, I've got like 20 bucks, I want to try some new markers, they're incredible.
Yeah, considering you get like so many colours.
And I think you guys told us that they come in sets of 20, 40 and even 80.
I think they're easier to find in the US than they are in the UK, especially since the last listing that we plugged. They've all sold out,
They've
so I
gone.
don't know whether you guys bought them or what, but they're gone. Okay, so now we have got Boldmere markers.
Ooh.
I really don't know if these are available in America or anywhere else other than the UK.
Or anywhere.
We did a review on them because so many people kept mentioning them to us. It's the same company that make our sketchbook, and our sketchbook is pretty cheap as well. It's £4 for a set of, I think that's 6 markers in
It's
that.
my darling. There you go.
My biggest complaint with these markers is they're so much darker than what I think that they've advertised themselves.
If you thought Style File was bad, ooh, we've got something special for you.
Yeah, especially the vintage pastels. I mean, I know they say that they're vintage pastels, but let me show you.
Oh, have you got something there?
That pink looked like it was, like it even calls itself pastel pink, but that's like a fluorescent pink almost.
It's quite bright.
Then baby blue, that is not baby blue.
Pastel yellow?
If you're considering getting these, take a close look at this colour swatch.
Pause the video. Print this out. Take it to the shop. Study it.
Ask yourself, do I want these colours? If the answer is no, don't get the markers. If you are happy with these colours, do it.
Exactly. Now we're not being like really mean on purpose or anything, guys, but we do want to try and inform you as to exactly what you're getting. The ends do have the names on, which is a bonus point. Yay, well done, Boldmere. But just bear in mind that these caps are going to be very differently coloured to what you actually get when you use them.
They also have a separate metallic marker set.
Ooh.
There's a silver, a gold, and there's like a sparkly black in there.
Yeah.
I don't think any other marker I've ever had has been a sparkly black, so that's kind of a rarish colour. If you want to get one for £2 to get some sparkly pens or whatever,
Yeah.
I think this one might be one of the more interesting parts of the Boldmere markers.
Rack up another point for Boldmere, but just bear in mind, guys, this is only, at the time of recording this video, you're only going to get these in the UK.
And also because they're so cheap, they don't have like a refill system because you can just recycle the pen or
Yeah.
whatever and then buy a new one.
Exactly, once they're gone, they're gone.
Up next we've got the Spectrum Noir Illustrator markers.
Ooh.
And I've kept them in the little plastic cases because I keep these next to my desk.
Look how many there are, guys, and look at all of those beautiful colour names.
Yeah, and these are not in any kind of order or set because like I said, these are so well loved that they just sit next to me, and these are some of like my most used markers ever.
One of your faves, really.
I think it's just because I don't have much space on my desk, and the fact that this comes with like its own little thing that holds it all together.
Well, that's the thing, because even if you don't keep the tray, the shape of them, you can actually stack them really easily because they're like a hexagon
the shape is so handy. So they do kind of fall trap to that problem that either some of the colour names on the lids, there's one that was called Citrus, and I expected that to be like a yellow. Well, Adam expected that to be a yellow.
Oh yes, I did.
It ended up being like a green, so some of the colour names are a little bit
And I still thought it was a yellow.
Another one of the things is that the colours are a bit off from what the lids are. So here we go, here's a bunch of like my swatches.
Whoa, that's like a mega swatch. Look how many!
So even though the colours aren't super accurate to what's on the lids, I do think they're very nice colours, so I forgive them.
Yeah, and look at all the varying in tones and stuff. That's actually good. These, I really like these.
I think this one was like the skin tone set. This one was like a pastel set.
Yeah, yeah.
This is one of my favourite sets that I got.
Yeah, I really like
that for like
those.
fantasy drawings and stuff. It's really cool. Then this one was like a seascape set, and this was like a landscape set.
One thing I will say about these, and I said it with the tiger ones as well, is just how nice these feel in the hand. Because it's got like a hexagon shape, you have like quite a lot of grip and it feels super comfy.
One of the reasons why I got into using them as well is because they have a really nice brush tip to them.
Check that out, yeah.
And they're pretty affordable as well. At least in the UK when I've picked them up. I can't vouch for the US. I've got some ordinary Spectrum Noirs to show you as well, because these were my first ever set of markers.
Oh, these
that
take
I
me
ever got. They were great for like when I very first got them.
Yeah, these were your starter markers, weren't they?
Yeah, but now that I've experimented with more markers, I do think that there's better starter markers to
Out
start
there.
off with. But if you start with these, there's nothing wrong with that. One of the biggest complaints I've seen people have is that the casing for them feels a bit on the cheap side. And sometimes when you pull it open, this top part of the marker actually pulls off and then it reveals
The
like,
chisel
all
end actually comes off, yeah.
on the inside. Or like, for example, on this one, it literally pulls that entire grey section off. And
The
it
whole
just show
bullet nib
the-
comes off and you're like, ah!
Yeah, and then it just reveals like the ink cartridge thing
Mm-hmm.
on the inside, which is a bit strange. They were pretty cheap to get hold of, although I do think they have a lot of competitors on the market now. Back
Oh,
then,
yeah.
there really wasn't much competition for markers. It used to be like there was Copics, and then there was like Pro Markers, and then there was like Spectrum Noir or something, but there's so many on the market now. I swear, if you go on like eBay or Amazon or something and you type in like markers, alcohol markers, Copic marker alternatives or something, you're gonna find so many alternatives pop up.
I mean, we seen some just this morning that were on Amazon that I think were called like Yusu or
Yusu,
something.
yeah, there was that one that popped up as well.
We'd never even heard of those.
So, you know, if there's any markers that we haven't reviewed in this video,
Let
you
us know, yeah.
Comment down below and we'll potentially
We'll see if
do a
we can
video
get
on
hold of them. Yeah, because if you're, as we've said before, if you have a marker brand or any art supply that you would like us to see, let us know, because we're always open to using new stuff.
This one is the ordinary Spectrum Noir, and this
Yeah.
one's the Illustrator. The Illustrator has a tiny little
Oh, look how
bullet nib,
small that is, yeah.
and this one's like a chunkier one, so that's a difference between the two. One thing I know though is that the Spectrum Noir markers, so these ones, the ordinary ones, they definitely have a refill system.
Mm-hmm.
But the colouring, like the colours of these ones, I'm not sure if they're the same as these because they have like different naming conventions, and the colours that I have, they seem to be different to
Yeah.
these ones. So I have no idea if there's a refill system for the brush one, which would be weird if it didn't, because they're the more expensive ones that are closer to like Copics. So
Exactly. If you guys know, let us
Yeah.
know.
So I'm sorry I can't be much help with whether these things have refills, and I'd like to know as well because I like using these.
I just like them. Okay, what's the final marker you've got for us?
Yeah, last but not least, we have got these touch markers.
Ooh.
And I wish I could tell you more about these touch markers, but one of our lovely subscribers, called Charlene, sent us these markers.
Thank you, Charlene.
They have the standard chisel nib.
There it is.
They look so similar to like a Copic.
Very, very similar.
They have a colour name on the top, they have the lovely little lids, they have all the number conventions, they even have a brush tip.
Oh, wow.
The brush is a little on the flexible side. That's literally the only thing that I could fault with these markers.
With these? Oh, wow.
They're incredible. The colour representation, it might as well be perfect.
That is
The wonderful-
Whoa, that is so similar.
But because they were sent to us, For some reason in the UK, these are very, very difficult to find.
Yeah, seriously guys, it's so hard.
I found a few maybe on like eBay to like import in, so let me know if these are like cheap alternatives in your country or whatever. But if you can get your hands on them for like a decent price or something, then go for it.
Get them, the colour representation and stuff is amazing.
And I apologise if these are like super expensive markers, because price-wise, I really don't know a lot about them. That's about as much information I can tell you on
Let's
these
use
ones.
this opportunity to help each other out. If
Yeah.
you use or know about touch markers, let us know, because we want to know more about them. They're amazing.
Literally all I can tell you is that they're great.
This gets to their great out of 10. I'm going to whack a playlist up here, guys, of all other videos that we've done using Copic marker alternatives. So if you've seen any that you really like, give that a click and we can show you using them. Also, if you're not subscribed, grab your favourite marker and whack the subscribe button, because we make videos every week. We actually make 3 videos every week. So make sure you subscribe for that, ring that notification bell, because only good things happen when you do that. And we'll see you next time for another Doodle Date.
Here's me whacking that subscribe button.